I woke before the sun, as usual, to get my second job ready. Breakfast wasn't an option. I'd skip it to make sure Clara had whatever she wanted. "Morning," I muttered, shuffling into the kitchen. "Morning," Clara said without looking up from her phone. "You sleep well?" I asked, trying to sound cheerful. "Fine," she replied, tapping rapidly. I forced a smile. "Fine." That was her answer a lot lately. "Fine." I poured my coffee black, took a deep breath. "Clara, I'm heading out early. Don't wait up." She glanced at me for a second, a faint smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Okay, have a good day at work." I nodded, trying not to let the unease settle in. My heart ached, but love made me blind. I worked 2 jobs, covered every bill, every extra expense, and still, I had energy left to care for her comfort. That was my job too, I told myself. At my first shift, Richard, my boss, greeted me with his usual charm. "You're late again, but I like the way you handle pressure, always caring about home." Someone's got to. Richard's eyes lingered a moment longer than necessary. "And Clara," he said, smirking, "she's quite impressive. Really talented. Must be nice, having someone so devoted at home." I swallowed, pride and unease twisting in my chest. "Yeah, she's amazing. You don't say that enough," Richard teased. "But she knows it." I nodded, letting the comment slide. My focus was my work and making sure Clara never wanted for anything. Yet a small voice whispered, was Richard's attention too pointed? Was I imagining things? By the time I returned home, Clara was gone. "Just a note, out with friends. Don't wait for me." I sank onto the couch. "Friends?" I muttered. The word tasted bitter. Hours passed. I fixed dinner for us, even though she'd return late. I left the plate on the table and waited, my eyes on the clock. My stomach twisted with anticipation. When she finally walked in, I stood, forcing a smile. "You're back." Clara's hair was slightly messy, eyes tired but guarded. "Yeah, it was work stuff. Work stuff." I pressed, trying to keep my voice light. "Late night calls?" She waved it off. "It's complicated. Don't worry about it." "I never worry about you," I said softly, stepping closer. "You know that." She gave me a fleeting look when I couldn't decipher. "I know." The silence stretched. I wanted to ask more but didn't. Something inside me, hope, trust, maybe stubborn devotion, kept me quiet. Over the next few days, Clara's mood swings became harder to ignore. "I just need space," she said one evening. "You're smothering?" "Smothering?" I laughed nervously. "Clara, I work myself to the bone for you. I skip meals. I juggle 2 jobs. I keep everything running smoothly so you can live comfortably." She looked away. "I know, I appreciate it." Appreciation wasn't enough. Her evasive answers, her sudden disappearances, they gnawed at me, but I told myself love and loyalty were enough. They had to be at work. Richard's voice echoed in my mind. "Clara is talented." It's always that tone. Like he knew something I didn't. I brushed it off, thinking I was paranoid. He smiled at me across the office, but I forced a smile back. Later, when I got home, Clara was on the couch, scrolling her phone, a faint smile on her lips. "You're late tonight," she said casually. "I'm always late," I muttered. "Just trying to keep everything afloat." "You do a lot," she said softly. "Sometimes I wonder how you manage it all." "I manage because I love you," I said firmly, meaning every word. "Everything I do is for us." She didn't answer, just kept staring at her screen. I wanted to reach her, to break through whatever walls were rising. But the words stuck in my throat. That night I lay awake, listening to the house sigh and creak. My devotion felt heavy, like a weight pressing on my chest. I told myself she'd come back to me eventually. Love, loyalty, they always win, right? But in the pit of my stomach, a cold whisper lingered. Something was shifting, and I didn't yet know how much it would cost me. I noticed it first on Monday. Clara's phone buzzed as I walked into the kitchen. Her hand shot out, hiding it instantly. "Everything okay?" I asked, casually leaning against the counter. "Yeah," she said quickly, almost too quickly. "Just a work thing." Her eyes flicked to mine, then away. My stomach twisted. Clara, you've been on edge lately. Is something going on? She laughed softly, a sound meant to brush it off. You're imagining things. You worry too much. I'm not imagining, I said, keeping my voice calm. I see the way you act, hiding your phone, answering texts too fast. It's strange. You're being insecure, she said, shrugging. Seriously, I'm right here. Trust me. I wanted to trust her. I wanted to believe her, but the unease lingered like smoke I couldn't shake. At work, Richard's compliments didn't help. Clara really shines, he said as I passed the office. She's got talent you don't see every day. Lucky to have her support at home, too. I forced a smile. Thanks, Richard. Right. He leaned closer. You seem stressed? Everything all right with her? Of course, I said, though my voice cracked slightly. Just tired sometimes. Richard nodded, eyes sharp. Don't let jealousy cloud your judgment. You'll ruin your perspective. I laughed, but it didn't reach me. Jealousy? No. Caution, maybe. Doubt, something I couldn't quite name. That evening, Clara was unusually quiet. Dinner's ready, I said softly. She barely looked up. Thanks, she murmured. I watched her move around the table. Her phone tucked in her pocket, fingers brushing it constantly. Clara, we need to talk, I said finally, my throat tight. About what? Her voice was light, but her eyes avoided mine. About us. About how distant you've been, she laughed, shaking her head. You're imagining things again. Really? I don't know why you get so worked up. Not imagining, I said, louder than I intended. I see your behavior. I see Richard praising you too often, the late-night texts, your mood swings. Something's happening, Clara. Don't dismiss me. She smiled, cold and amused. You're overthinking. You always do. You think everyone's out to get you, don't you? I froze, trying to understand. I'm not overthinking. I love you, and I care. I notice when things change. You notice, sure, she said, finally meeting my eyes, but it wasn't warmth. You notice everything, and that's your problem. You don't trust me? I sank into my chair, words caught in my throat. My heart thudded. Clara, I've never wanted to doubt you. Never, but something is off. She shook her head. I can't fix what's in your head. Maybe talk to someone about it. Later, I confronted Richard. She's acting strange. Hiding her phone, avoiding eye contact, always texting. I don't know. I think something's wrong. Richard leaned back, expression smooth. You worry too much. Clara's a professional. She handles her life well. You're imagining problems where there are none. I'm not imagining, I said, frustration rising. I know her. I know when she's different. And Richard, you praise her too much. Don't you see how it looks? He chuckled softly. It's called recognizing talent. You're reading into normal things, overanalyzing. Relax. Trust your instincts. Yes. But don't let fear cloud your judgment. You'll regret it. Left his office feeling hollow, my mind spinning. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe Clara was right, I was insecure. But something told me I wasn't. Back at home, Clara was on the couch, scrolling. You look tense, she said casually. I am, I admitted. I can't stop thinking about everything. About us. About you. About Richard. I feel like I'm losing my grip on reality. She smiled faintly. See, you're imagining things again. You need to calm down. You're safe. Nothing's happening. I wanted to believe her, wanted to trust every word, but the pit in my stomach refused to fade. Her evasive glances, her laughter at my worry, it didn't sit right. Clara, promise me you're being honest, said my voice low, trembling slightly. I am, she said smoothly. I've never lied to you. I nodded, but the doubt wouldn't leave. My hands shook as I reached for my cup of coffee. I questioned myself. My judgment, my sanity. Was I seeing the truth? Or was I imagining shadows? The tension in the house pressed down on me. I loved her, devoted myself to her entirely, but the whispers of suspicion were growing louder. My heart ached with uncertainty. Fear of losing her, fear of being wrong, fear of what I might discover if I didn't confront it. I lay awake that night, listening to Clara's even breathing, wondering if I could ever trust myself again. Something was changing. I didn't yet know how far it would go or how much it would break me. I left work early, an unplanned break. Something inside me urging me to check on Clara. The thought of seeing her face, of hearing her laugh, of everything being normal was the only comfort I had left. I unlocked the door quietly, expecting the usual quiet hum of the apartment, but the second I stepped in, I froze. There they were, Clara laughing softly, sitting close to Richard on the couch. My stomach twisted, a cold fire spreading through me. My keys dropped from my hand. "Clara?" My voice was sharp, broken. Both of them turned. Clara's smile faltered for a split second. I can explain," she said. "Explain." My hands trembled. "Explain what? What the hell is this?" I pointed between them. Richard leaned back, his smile calm, almost smug. "Relax. We weren't doing anything serious. Just enjoying company." Company. I laughed bitterly, rage bubbling over. "You call this company? In my living room, Clara?" "You," my voice cracked. "How could you?" Clara rose slowly, hands raised as if to call me. "I didn't mean for you to find out this way. I didn't mean for me to find out." I shouted. "You're sitting on my couch with him, laughing like nothing matters. Like I don't exist." Richard waved a hand. "Look, he's emotional. Calm down. This isn't the end of the world." "Not the end of the world?" I laughed hollowly, stepping closer. "You're betraying me, both of you. How is this not the end of the world?" Clara's eyes glistened, but her tone was firm. "You don't understand. You've been so blind. So focused on your sacrifices that you didn't see me. You never appreciated me." I felt the words hit me like a hammer. Blind? Blind? I've worked myself to death for you. I've skipped meals, juggled 2 jobs, paid every bill, made everything in this house perfect for you. "You did things," she said sharply, "but you ignored what I wanted. You didn't notice my needs. You just assumed love and loyalty were enough." My chest tightened, hot anger mixing with a dizzying sadness. "Notice your needs? Notice the hidden phone, the evasive answers, the late-night work calls. You think I didn't see? I trusted you, Clara. I trusted you with everything I had, and this is how you repay me." Richard leaned forward slightly. "She's right. You were so caught up in being the perfect husband, you missed the signs. You pushed her away without realizing it." I turned on him, fury like fire. "Don't you dare justify this. You encouraged it. Your praise, your attention, did you think I wouldn't notice?" Clara's voice shook, but she didn't look away. "I needed someone to see me. You were always too busy to notice who I really am." "Do you really are?" I echoed, disbelief crushing me. "And that justifies this? Sitting on my couch, betraying me with him?" I was lonely," she admitted, almost whispering. "Lonely." My voice cracked, tears burning behind my eyes. "I've been here. Every day. Every hour. And you chose him?" Clara's head dropped slightly. I made a mistake. A mistake." I screamed, voice shaking with rage and grief. "A mistake is burning the toast." "A mistake isn't this. This isn't a mistake, Clara. This is tearing my heart out." Richard's tone turned sharper. "Calm down. Yelling won't change anything. She's not happy with your constant sacrifice. She wanted more. More." I laughed, hollow and bitter. "I gave everything. Everything I had. And you both of you took it for granted?" Clara stepped closer. "I didn't want to hurt you. I needed someone to see me, to appreciate me." "See you? Appreciate you." I screamed again, pacing the room, heart hammering. "I've given my life to you, Clara. My body, my soul, my time. And you still, this is your answer?" "Betrayal." Richard shook his head. "You can't control everything. You can't force someone to be grateful for your sacrifices. That's life. You think this is life? My knees weakened, and I sank onto the floor, chest heaving. This isn't life. This is a nightmare. And you're both part of it. You've destroyed everything I believed in. Clara knelt beside me, voice trembling. I didn't mean to. I thought you would understand. I thought you'd see I see. I yelled, my voice raw and broken. I saw everything. I gave everything. And you threw it away. Tears ran down my face, hot and stinging. My hands shook, my world collapsing around me. How could you? How could you betray me like this? Clara looked at me, guilt and frustration mixing. You never saw me. You never really listened. You were so busy being perfect, you didn't see me. You don't get it, do you? I gave everything, I sobbed. Everything, Clara. And this is the thanks I get? Richard stepped back, hands raised. I didn't force anything. Don't make this worse than it is. She's not yours to control, not mine to control. I laughed bitterly through tears. She was my wife, my everything. And both of you turned my life into ashes. Clara's eyes filled with tears now. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. Couldn't speak. Words were trapped in my chest, swallowed by the pain. My vision blurred, anger and grief clashing in a storm inside me. Finally, I whispered, voice breaking, you've shattered my trust. My heart, my life, everything I believed in, gone. I sank further, unable to stop the sobs. Clara reached for me, but I recoiled. The betrayal burned too deep. Richard stood silently, and Clara's tears fell quietly. My world had cracked, my life twisted into fragments. And I realized in that moment, nothing would ever be the same. I had loved blindly, and the cost was everything. I stopped going to work. My alarm rang, and I hit snooze, then sleep, then ignored it entirely. Bills piled up, but I couldn't care. I barely moved from my bed. My phone vibrated constantly, notifications piling up. Clara's posts. Pictures of her smiling, laughing, dressed like nothing had happened. I stared at them, rage and grief mixing into a bitter taste. Look at this, I muttered to myself, scrolling. Does she even care? Does she feel anything? My best friend Alex called. Hey, haven't heard from you. You okay? I'm fine, I lied, voice hollow. Just tired. You're not fine, Alex said firmly. I can hear it in your voice. Come on, man. Talk to me. I closed my eyes. I don't know if I can. Everything's gone. Clara, Richard, they took everything from me. My trust, my life, my sanity. Alex's voice softened. You deserve better than her. Both of them. You gave everything, and they betrayed you. That's on them, not you. I don't feel like I deserve anything, I whispered. I feel empty, broken. I can't even eat. I can't sleep. You will, Alex said. But first, stop isolating yourself. You need people around you who actually care. I can't, I said, voice shaking. I keep replaying it in my head. The couch, their laughter, Richard's smug face, Clara's excuses. I see it all, every second, and I feel nothing. Nothing but pain. You'll feel again, Alex insisted. Pain is okay, but don't let it bury you. Don't let them win. I'm buried, I muttered. I quit work. I don't answer calls. I avoid my friends. I barely eat. And I keep seeing it. Alex was silent for a moment. Then use it. Let the anger push you forward, not drag you down. Don't let them control your life. I swallowed, voice trembling. Control my life. They already destroyed it. My home, my trust, everything is ashes. Then build from the ashes, Alex said. You're stronger than you think. You're not powerless. You can take your life back. You will. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to feel strength instead of this hollow, crushing despair. I wanted to move, but the weight in my chest wouldn't allow it. Night came, and I lay awake. Sleep refused me. Every detail of that day, the shock, the betrayal, Clara's laughter haunted me. I saw Richard leaning back, smug and untouchable. Clara's smile, cold and unrepentant. My own tears hot on my face that I couldn't stop. I whispered to the dark room, how could they? How could they do this to me? The answer never came. Only the vivid flashbacks looping endlessly. A cruel replay of the life I thought I had. I tried to eat something. Bread, cold soup. My stomach turned. I left it. My body felt like a shell. My mind a cage of anger and despair. Alex called again late at night. You awake? I'm awake, I muttered, voice raw. You've got to start moving, he said. Even small steps. Don't let them see you broken forever. You're better than that. I don't feel better, I admitted. I feel nothing and everything at once. Grief, rage, shame. I can't untangle it. You will, Alex said gently. And when you do that rage, that fire inside you, use it. Don't waste it on despair. Make it work for you. They can't hurt you again. I closed my eyes, thinking. Rage. Yes. Beneath the grief, beneath the empty hollow, a spark flickered. A subtle heat, a pulse of anger, slowly replacing the numbness. Clara's pictures on my phone felt like fuel. I stared at them, imagining the satisfaction of flipping the script, of reclaiming control. My lips pressed into a thin line. One day they'll see. One day, they'll regret every second of this. Alex's voice lingered in my head. Don't waste your fire. Don't let them win. I got up from the bed, hands trembling. I moved to the window, looking out into the night. The city lights blurred as tears ran down my face. But the fire in my chest burned steadily, small but undeniable. I will rise, I whispered. From the ashes I will rise. They took everything, but not me. Not my mind. Not my future. Not my revenge. Sleep finally claimed me hours later, restless and fitful. In my dreams, Clara's laughter echoed, Richard's smug face haunting me. And yet somewhere in the darkness, the spark glowed brighter. Rage, determination, and a promise to myself that I would not remain broken. By morning, the despair hadn't vanished. The grief still weighed me down. But the anger was there now, a subtle, simmering undercurrent, whispering that the story wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Even as I ate a dry piece of bread, my hands shaking, my mind raced. The betrayal had cut deep, but the wound was also awakening something inside me. Something I would use. Something I would turn against them. For the first time since it all began, I allowed myself to plan not with hope, but with fire, with the cold. Steady certainty that I wouldn't be broken forever. I stared at the photos again. Clara laughing, Richard smiling, oblivious to my gaze. I clenched my fists. This ends differently, I said quietly, under my breath. I will not be a victim. Not anymore. I woke before dawn, muscles aching from the first day back at the gym. Sweat ran down my face, but I didn't stop. No more weakness, I whispered to myself. Not anymore. Alex called while I was stretching. Morning, man. Feeling alive yet? Alive? I laughed, hoarse but determined. More like burning, Alex. Every muscle aches, but it feels good. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. You're getting back in control. Good. I wiped my sweat, voice firm. Control is mine again. No more being a victim. Exactly. And I've got something for you, Alex said. There's an opening at my company. Better pay, better position. You can rebuild from there. Really? I asked, heart hammering. Better position? Alex, are you sure? Absolutely, he said. You deserve it. Just send your resume. I'll vouch for you. I sat down immediately. I will. I need this. I need to get my life back. Hours later, I was drafting my resume, hands shaking with excitement and focus. Clara thought she could destroy me. Thought I'd stay down. She's going to see. She's going to regret underestimating me. Alex texted, checking in. How est the fire? I typed back. It's burning brighter than ever. Watch me rise. By midweek, I'd been accepted for an interview. My confidence surged. I can do this. I will do this. I will rebuild everything she tried to take. I noticed my phone buzzing constantly, Clara. Multiple messages. Pretending to care? Are you okay? One read. I'm worried about you. Another. I stared at the screen, fingers trembling. Then I deleted them all. Not today. Not ever. You've had your chance, Alex called again. She, reaching out. I ignored her. I said, voice steady. She doesn't get a say in my life anymore. I'm not hers to toy with. Good. Stay that way. Let her see you rising while she clings to what's crumbling. I smiled, imagining the truth settling in for her. My dedication to self, to rebuilding, was stronger than her manipulation ever could be. I started running in the evenings, feeling every muscle respond. I pushed through pain and exhaustion. I'm stronger than I thought, I whispered. Every step forward is mine. Mine alone. Alex dropped by one night. How's the job hunt going? He asked, noticing the change in me. Better than I imagined, I admitted. I've got an interview lined up, and I feel something I haven't felt in months. Power, control, freedom. That's what I'm talking about, he said, clapping my shoulder. You're taking back your life. Clara's comfort? That's on shaky ground now. She realized what she's lost. I nodded, satisfaction simmering beneath the surface. Yes, she'll see. She'll feel it when everything she took for granted starts slipping away. Alex grinned. Silent revenge, huh? Let her watch without knowing the fire you've ignited. Let her panic in private while you thrive. I laughed softly, a sound I hadn't made in months. Exactly. No confrontation yet. Let the work speak for itself. My rise, her fall, patience is part of the plan. Later, I spent hours at the gym, lifting weights, running faster, pushing harder. Sweat poured, muscles screamed, and I welcomed it. Every ounce of pain now is fuel later. Fuel for strength. Fuel for revenge, Gladys' posts continued, smiling, carefree, flaunting her life. But I didn't look away in despair anymore. I watched and analyzed. She thinks I'm broken, I muttered. She has no idea what I'm building. The interview went better than I dared hope. Confidence radiated from me naturally. I've got this, I whispered in the mirror afterward. This is mine. Everything she tried to ruin, I will rebuild stronger. Alex called later that evening. How did it go? Better than I imagined, I said, sitting on my bed, staring at the ceiling. I feel alive again. Clara won't recognize me. She won't recognize what I'm capable of. Well, that's the spirit, Alex said. Don't let anyone stop you now. Not her, not Richard, not anyone. I smiled faintly. I won't. I've been broken long enough. Now I ignite. I take back everything. Days passed and my strength grew. My career rebuilt, my body transformed, my mind sharpened. Clara's financial comfort, once entirely dependent on me, began to falter. I heard through mutual contacts that bills were overdue, plans were failing, and she was panicking. I didn't reach out. I didn't need to. Seeing her crumble without touching her was satisfaction enough. This is justice, I whispered. Silent, precise, perfect. Alex checked in daily. You're holding your fire steady? I am, I said. Steady, growing, unstoppable. She'll see the difference, feel the absence, and regret every betrayal. Every evening I ran, lifted, and sharpened my focus. Every night I went to bed tired yet burning with determination. I'm not her victim. I'm rising. I'm taking back my life. And when she looks back, she'll see only what she lost. Clara's messages stopped. She realized her manipulations no longer had power. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. My path was clear. My strength was mine. I looked in the mirror one night, seeing the change reflected back. Anger had transformed into purpose. Pain had molded into fire. This is the beginning, I whispered. The ashes of my life are turning into flames, and no one can stop me now. I heard it first from a mutual friend over coffee. Richard's having trouble at home, they said quietly, lowering their voice. What kind of trouble? I asked, careful not to sound too eager. Divorce, rumors, fights. Something about money and trust. It's messy, smiled faintly, a bitter warmth in my chest. Figures, I muttered. Life has a way of balancing itself out. Later, another message. Clara had been struggling to pay her bills. I heard she's panicking over overdue payments, my friend texted. She's trying to keep appearances, but it's slipping. Stared at my phone, satisfaction curling inside me. Not my doing, I whispered, but I can enjoy the consequences. That evening, I ran past their usual haunts. I didn't go to confront them. I didn't need to. Just glimpsing Clara at a cafe, flustered. Flipping through overdue notices on her phone made my chest tighten in a strange, hollow way. Rage and grief were still there, yes, but so was a calm satisfaction. Alex called. You seeing it? Seeing what? I asked, pretending not to be too focused. The cracks. They're falling apart without lifting a finger. Your patience and growth are paying off. I exhaled, leaning against the railing. It's weird. I expected triumph to feel sweeter, but all I feel is quiet. Satisfaction, yes, but also emptiness. That's normal, Alex said. You're still healing. Revenge without confrontation can feel hollow. The point is, you're strong. You're alive. That's your victory. I nodded, silent. Watching Clara trying to juggle her failing lifestyle, her composure fraying at the edges, was a strange mix of joy and melancholy. She's always been so confident, I whispered. Now, everything's shaken, good, Alex said simply. Let it shake. She earned every bit of it. A few days later, I heard Richard had lost a major client at work. Seems he's careless when he's distracted, a colleague murmured. Rumors say it's personal life spilling over. I laughed softly, bitter and dry. Careless, distracted? Yeah, that sounds about right. I spent evenings running, lifting, rebuilding my life, but my mind kept drifting. Clara's laughter, her smug smiles, the betrayal they haunted me. Even as they stumbled, I still wrestled with the sting. You're quiet, Alex said one evening when we met for a late dinner. Just thinking, I admitted. Seeing them unravel, it's satisfying. But also it's hollow. I don't hear apologies. I don't see guilt. Just chaos. And it doesn't heal the hole they left inside me. Understandable, he said. The emptiness is normal. Revenge isn't a cure, it's a mirror. Look at yourself now. Stronger, independent. That's the change. I nodded slowly. Yes, I am stronger. But the pain lingers, subtle, like a shadow I can't shake. Even as they falter, I can't fully let go of what they did to me. I glanced at Clara's social media. Pictures of her smiling, pretending everything was fine, clashed with what I'd seen in the real world. She was unraveling quietly while presenting an illusion of control. I whispered to myself, the facade is crumbling. You can't fake what's breaking inside. Alex smiled across the table. See? You don't have to touch them to win. Karma has its way. Your patience, your growth, everything's doing the work for you. I finished my coffee, feeling the fire of determination simmer beneath the lingering pain. I'm watching them fall, I said quietly, and I'm still me. Stronger, alive, rebuilding. That's what matters. Later that week, I ran past a familiar cafe. Clara sat inside, hair pulled back, eyes tired, papers spread across the table. I didn't stop. I didn't confront. I didn't need to. I watched from a distance, a quiet observer. Everything's slipping, I muttered, and I'm not here to break them further. I just witness it, Alex called again, voice cheerful. Still seeing it? Yes, I said, voice calm. And it's satisfying in a quiet, bitter way. They're unraveling. The empire they built on lies and betrayal is cracking. Exactly, Alex said. But remember, your victory isn't just them falling. It's you rising. Don't forget that. I nodded to myself, hands in my pockets, staring at the city lights. I won't forget. My strength, my independence, that's the real victory. Their downfall is just confirmation. That night, sleep came slowly. My mind replayed their faces, their mistakes, their faltering confidence. Yet beneath it all, my fire burned quietly, purposefully. I was no longer the man who cried on his living room floor. "You're rising," I whispered. "Even if the pain remains, even if the emptiness lingers, I'm rising. And that's enough. That's power. That's me." Streets were empty as I ran through the park, muscles aching, lungs burning, heart steady. I imagined Clara struggling, Richard panicking. And yet I felt no triumph in cruelty, no joy in their suffering. Just quiet satisfaction. "I am alive," I muttered. "I am strong. I am rebuilding. And they're learning what happens when you betray someone who refused to stay broken." I returned home, body exhausted, mind alert, spirit stronger. Their cracks, their unraveling, were proof. But the real change was inside me. My fire, my resilience, my ability to survive those were unstoppable. And as I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, I whispered softly, more to myself than anyone else, "I am rising. No matter the shadows of pain, no matter the emptiness, I am rising. And nothing can stop me now." My phone buzzed again. Another message from Richard. I stared at it, heart hammering, chest tight. "Please. I never meant for any of this to happen. I'm sorry. Can we talk?" I laughed bitterly, voice low. "Never meant for this to happen? You destroyed my life." Alex called before I could reply. "Richard reaching out?" "Yes," I said, voice shaking slightly. "He wants to talk." "Wants forgiveness?" "Don't," Alex said firmly. "Nothing good comes from that. He doesn't deserve it." I closed my eyes. I know, but part of me wants to hear him beg, hear the remorse. But I can't. I won't. Later, Clara called. I didn't answer. Another text followed. "I still love you. I made a mistake. Please come back. We can fix this." I laughed softly, shaking my head. "Love, you betrayed me. Twice, and you think a few words can undo it." Alex leaned forward when we met for coffee. "She still wants you?" "Yes," I muttered. "Every message, every call, pretending she cares." "Pretending she feels anything? You'll ignore it?" He asked. "Of course," I said firmly. "I won't give them the satisfaction. Not anymore. Not ever." That night my phone buzzed again. Clara's name flashed. My fingers hovered, then I slammed it face down. "No, not today. Not ever," I whispered to myself, pacing. "They're desperate. They're faltering. Richard's personal life is crumbling. Clara's comfort is slipping. And I don't touch them. I just watch. Just witness." Alex's voice came to mind. "Silent revenge is the strongest." I sank onto the couch. I want them to feel the loss. To know what it's like when someone refuses to stay broken. Another message, this one from Richard. "Please, just talk. I didn't mean it. I can explain everything." I was weak. I muttered under my breath. "Weak. You destroyed everything with weakness, not strength." Clara's messages kept coming, flooding my inbox. "I can't live without you. I'll do anything to fix this. Please give me one more chance." I read them once, then deleted them all. "Nothing fixes betrayal," I whispered. "Nothing." Alex called again. "Feeling the power?" "Yes," I admitted. "Seeing them beg, knowing they can't touch me, can't manipulate me. It's satisfying." But I hesitated, voice softer. "It's not the joy I imagined. There's still ache, still longing I can't shake." "That's normal," Alex said. "The heart takes time, but your mind is sharp. Your boundaries are solid. That's the triumph." I looked at my reflection in the window, dark and determined. "I loved them," I murmured. "Loved them blindly. And now I love myself enough to stay away, to refuse their lies." Clara's voice echoed in my memory. You're too blind to see my needs. I laughed bitterly. I see now. I see clearly, and I refuse. I refuse to be their pawn, their target, their fool again. Another message arrived, this time Richard. I didn't think you'd turn out like this. You were always loyal. I respect you more now. But please, reconsider, I whispered angrily. Respect. You don't earn respect by destroying a life. You earn it by not breaking it. Alex leaned back across from me. You're holding strong. Good. Don't let them worm their way back. You've already won, I nodded. I've won in control, in independence, in refusing them, but my fingers clenched, nails digging into my palms. I still feel the ache, the ghost of what I lost. Part of love is grief, Alex said. Part of strength is enduring it without letting it control you. I exhaled slowly. Yes, grief, longing, anger, all tangled. But the anger fuels me now. The grief is a shadow I carry, not a leash. Clara's text slowed, then stopped for a day. I didn't reach out. I didn't respond. The silence was sweeter than any words they could have written. Richard tried again, leaving a voicemail. I never wanted this. I respect you. Please, let me make amends. I played it once, then deleted it. No amends, I whispered. Not from the ones who chose betrayal over love. Not from them. Alex smiled knowingly. See, you're untouchable now. Your power isn't about revenge anymore. It's about self-respect. Let them break themselves while you rise. I leaned back, feeling the fire simmer within me. Yes, I rise. I am untouchable. They falter, they beg, and I remain steady, unmoved. Stronger than ever, a haunting ache lingered, subtle, reminding me of what I'd lost. But the moral victory, the psychological satisfaction, outweighed it. I whispered softly, to myself more than anyone else. I loved. I lost. I survived. And they will never touch me again. Never. I turned off my phone, leaving their desperation unanswered. The quiet of my apartment felt like a shield, a fortress. I could hear my own heartbeat, steady and resolute. They're broken, I said to myself. And I am whole. I am alive. I am rising. And in that stillness, I allowed a small, private smile. Not for them, not for their pain, but for me, for surviving, for refusing, for finally being untouchable. The doorbell rang, sharp and insistent. I opened the door slowly, expecting nothing. Clara stood there, eyes red, tears streaming. I need to talk to you, she whispered, voice breaking. Why? I asked, arms crossed, calm and steady. Please, I made a mistake. I love you. I can't live without you, she begged, hands trembling. I remained silent. I didn't move. I let her words hang in the air. Please, she said again, voice louder, desperate. I'll do anything. Anything you want. Just forgive me. Shook my head slowly. I'm not here to forgive. Her tears fell harder. Why? I was wrong. I didn't mean it. A car pulled up. Richard stepped out, face tight with anger. Clara, what the hell are you doing? She turned, sobbing. I'm trying to fix this. Fix this, he snapped. You think begging him will fix anything? You've ruined everything. I watched silently from the doorway, feeling a strange calm. Chaos surrounded me, but I wasn't part of it. You ruined everything too, Clara shouted, pointing at him. You made me weak. You praised me, flattered me, you both betrayed him. Richard's face turned red. Betrayed him? Don't twist this on me. You chose this? You went behind his back. Don't blame me? Clara's sobs turned into a scream. I didn't know how to handle him. I didn't know how to live. Live? Richard yelled. You call this living? Pretending, cheating, lying? You're pathetic. I stayed silent, arms crossed, listening to the storm they'd created. Their voices, desperate and furious, bounced off the walls. I didn't intervene. I didn't say a word. You never appreciated me. Clara shrieked. I needed him to see me, and I did see you. Richard shot back. I warned you. I told you to respect what we had. But no, you were too blind to listen. You think this is about listening? Clara spat. It's about love, Richard. Something you never understood. I breathed slowly, watching. No control over them. No power to be regained. Only observation. Their chaos, their anger, their regret, it was all theirs. Stop blaming me for your failures, Richard shouted. You're the reason this is falling apart. You wanted attention? Validation? You pushed him away? Clara's voice trembled with fury and grief. I did what I had to survive. You think you understand me? You're as selfish as he is. I could feel the tension, raw and dangerous, but I didn't move. I didn't need to. The victory was mine, simply because I was outside the storm, detached, unmoved. You think I care what you think? Richard yelled, throwing his hands in the air. I don't. You're both fools. Fools. Clara laughed bitterly, tears still streaming. We were everything. And now look at us. I leaned against the doorframe, voice quiet, almost to myself. Look at them, destroying each other. And I don't have to. Clara's sobs softened into whispers. Please, please don't be silent. Talk to me. Say something. Anything. I shook my head slowly. No, I won't speak. I won't intervene. This is your own chaos. Richard and Clara froze, turning toward me. You're just watching? Richard spat, incredulous. Yes, I said calmly. I'm watching, observing. I don't need revenge. I don't need confrontation. This is yours. Clara's knees buckled, and she sank to the floor. I thought I could fix it. I thought you thought wrong, I said softly, detached. All your begging, all your tears, they don't reach me anymore. Richard clenched his fists, voice tight. You think you're better than us? Standing there, judging us? You're nothing without us. I smiled faintly, calm and steady. No, I am everything now. Strong, detached, free. Watching you falter, powerless to affect me. That is my victory. Clara's sobs became quiet, resigned. Richard's shouts dwindled into muttered curses. I took a step back, letting the door close slowly behind me. Goodbye, I whispered. Not to them, but to the past. To the pain. To the betrayal. The silence that followed felt heavier than any confrontation, yet sweeter than any argument. I didn't need to act. I didn't need to fight. Their unraveling was complete. And I remained untouched. Alex's voice echoed in my mind. The strongest victory is the one you don't have to enforce. Walked to my apartment, alone but unburdened. My chest felt light for the first time in months. I could hear their chaos fading behind me. But I carried no bitterness, only calm. They will remember this, I whispered softly. They will remember the silence, the detachment, the man they tried to break who survived, and as I closed the door fully, I knew it. I held no power over them, but that was exactly the point. True victory was my calm, my independence, my refusal to engage. I sank onto my couch, breathing deeply. No rage, no despair. Only observation, only peace, only self-assured strength. And in that quiet, detached moment, I finally felt whole. Months had passed. I ran every morning, pushed through every weight, and spent evenings at work building my career. The man who once crumpled on the living room floor was gone. Alex called one evening. You're glowing, man. Seriously, I barely recognize you. I laughed softly. I feel different, stronger, lighter, less haunted somehow. Haunted. He asked, I thought you were untouchable now. I am, I admitted. But scars remain. Memories linger. Betrayal doesn't vanish. But it doesn't control me anymore. Sophia entered my life quietly, almost hesitantly. She noticed my caution, my walls. You're careful, she said one night over coffee. I have to be, I replied. I've learned what happens when trust is given too freely. I've learned the price of blind loyalty. Does it scare you? She asked softly. Yes, I said. A little. But I've also learned that love can exist without losing myself. That's the lesson I carry. Alex teased over a call. So, Sophia, huh? You're finally letting someone in. I am, I said. But cautiously. Slowly. Step by step. No rushing, no assumptions. She's worth it, Alex said. I can tell just by your voice. I smiled faintly. I hope so. But I won't allow anyone to manipulate me again. I've seen that darkness up close. My phone sat silent. Clara and Richard had faded from my life. Their chaos, their begging, their petty manipulations. They were echoes in a past I refused to revisit. I told Sophia about my growth, carefully without bitterness. I was broken, I said. I was blind, devoted, and I paid for it. But I rebuilt myself. I rose stronger. I refused to live as a shadow of anyone's deceit again. Her hand touched mine gently. I can see that. You've earned this strength, and you're choosing carefully, wisely. Yes, I said, because I finally understand the value of myself, my time, my energy, my heart. They're mine to protect. Alex called again. Feeling untouchable yet? I do, I admitted. But untouchable doesn't mean unfeeling. It means aware, resilient, cautious, not closed. Sophia smiled at me one evening. I feel like you've learned to balance, to hold your heart without giving it away recklessly. I nodded. I've learned that love isn't about losing yourself. It's about sharing yourself safely and keeping the rest sacred. Clara and Richard were distant memories. Occasionally, a detail would surface: Clara struggling financially. Richard losing a client, but I didn't let it affect me. I didn't revel in it. I didn't need to. My satisfaction came from the life I'd rebuilt, not their downfall, Alex teased. You're living proof that rising from ashes works. I laughed, shaking my head. It does, but it's not magic. It's effort, patience, self-respect, and learning to let go of what I can't control. Sophia leaned closer. And have you learned to trust again? I have, I said slowly, but it's cautious. I watch, I listen, I observe. I allow myself to hope, not blindly, but with awareness. That's what makes it different. That's what makes me me. I spent weekends jogging through the park, noticing the small victories, the strength in my legs, the clarity in my mind, the calm in my heart. Each step reminded me I was no longer the man I was months ago. Alex called one last time that week. You're not just surviving anymore. You're thriving. Yes, I said, voice steady. Physically, emotionally, professionally, I'm thriving. And it feels right, balanced, real. Sophia reached for my hand. I like the man I see now. Not just strong, but careful, thoughtful, someone who's learned from pain. I'm still learning, I said, but I know the value of what I have now. My heart, my mind, my life, I protect it. And I protect us. The apartment was quiet that night. I thought briefly of the past: Clara's tears, Richard's arrogance, but only briefly. I no longer needed revenge, nor closure. My strength was complete in the simple act of living fully, choosing wisely, and remaining detached from what had tried to control me. Alex's words echoed again. Silent resilience is the strongest form of power. I nodded to myself. Yes, I survived. I rebuilt. I loved carefully. I thrive. Sophia smiled, brushing her hair back. You've become someone remarkable. I've become myself, I said quietly. And that's more remarkable than anything else. I closed my eyes that night, feeling the calm, feeling the strength. The man who once cried, who once begged for loyalty, who once was shattered, was gone. In his place stood someone aware, cautious and alive. I whispered softly, alone but complete. This is the man I became. Strong, resilient, free, and finally whole. Stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, fingers brushing against the cool glass. The man looking back wasn't the one who once crumpled on the floor, broken and begging. He was steady, controlled, whole, Alex called earlier, his usual cheerful tone breaking my silence. "You okay?" "I'm better than okay," I said softly. "I'm present. I'm aware. I'm alive." "That sounds like a victory," he said. "You've earned it." "That," I admitted. And the strange part? I realized revenge wasn't about hurting them. Not really. It was about rebuilding me. Reclaiming everything they tried to steal. Alex chuckled. "Silent justice. That's the strongest kind." I nodded slowly. Exactly. They fell because of their own choices. Their greed, deceit, selfishness, it all caught up to them. I didn't have to act. I just lived, thrived, rose above it all. Sophia's voice popped in my mind from our last evening together. "You've learned to guard your heart without locking it away." "Yes," I whispered to myself. "I've learned boundaries. I've learned caution. And I've learned that I can love without surrendering my strength." I leaned closer to the mirror, eyes tracing every line, every scar. "Never again," I said softly. "Never again will I let anyone break me."
iPhone buzzed.
A message from Clara. I opened it and read silently. "I regret everything. I was wrong." I laughed quietly, bitter and distant. "Too late. Your time to affect me is over." Deleted the message. No satisfaction in cruelty. No temptation to reply. Silence was stronger. Alex called again. "Still resisting the urge to reply?" "Yes," I said firmly. "Every message they send, every word of apology, every attempt to beg it, doesn't touch me, because I've touched myself. I've healed. I've rebuilt." "You're stronger than ever," Alex said. "And you know it." "I do," I said, voice calm. "But strength isn't just muscle or career. It's mind, heart, and spirit. And I've forged all three." I thought of Richard, once charming, manipulative, now faltering in his own chaos. "They thought they could control me," I murmured. "They thought I'd stay broken, silent, obedient. They miscalculated. They always did." Sophia's hand rested gently on mine. "You've reclaimed yourself," she said softly. "No anger, no obsession. Just clarity."
"Yes,"
I whispered. "Clarity, detachment, observation. That's my revenge. Silent, precise, perfect." Alex teased once more over the phone. "You're enjoying your freedom, huh?" "I am," I said. "But not in the way you'd think. Not in mockery or spite. I enjoy it because it's mine. Every choice, every step, every breath mine. Free from them." Clara's name crossed my mind again, but only briefly. "No anger, no longing, just acknowledgement." "You are a shadow now," I muttered. "A ghost of the past. I will not engage you." Richard's arrogance flashed in memory. "You underestimated me," I whispered to myself. "And I've corrected that silently. By living, thriving, surviving." I walked to my living room, letting sunlight fall across the floor. "This," I said softly, "is justice in silence. Not destruction. Not confrontation. Not revenge through pain. But through life, through rising above, through proving to myself that betrayal cannot define me." Alex called one last time for the evening. "Feeling complete?" "Yes," I said, closing my eyes. "Complete in a way I never imagined months ago. I'm strong. I'm aware. I'm awake. And I'm free." Sophia smiled, squeezing my hand. "You've become the man you were always meant to be." I nodded, letting the warmth of her words settle. Yes, I've become myself. Not someone defined by others. Not someone broken by betrayal. Only me. Whole. Resilient. Alive. Looking back at the mirror, I whispered again, firmer this time. "Never again will I let anyone break me. Never again will I surrender my life to someone else's deceit. I am my own guardian, my own strength, my own justice." Alex's voice echoed in memory, a mantra now. "Silent resilience is the ultimate power." "Yes," I whispered. "Silent resilience. That is me. That is my life." That is my justice. I smiled faintly, letting the calm settle in. No lingering bitterness, no obsession with the past, only awareness, strength, and quiet satisfaction. I took a deep breath, feeling the steady rhythm of my own heartbeat. This is the man I've become, I said softly. Strong, independent, unbroken, and finally free. As night fell outside, I stood in the quiet of my apartment, untouched by past betrayals, unshaken by old pain. Their downfall was their own doing. My triumph silent, but complete. I didn't need them to beg. I didn't need them to acknowledge me. I only needed myself, and I had finally found him.